Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you just join us, we're talking about Charlamagne's Donkey of the Day.
Well, yeah, I gave Donkey of the Day to America, man, because we're asking the same question again. What are we going to do? And, there's this meme going around, and the meme shows the cycle of how things are when it comes to these mass shootings. And it starts by saying mass shooting, media extravaganza, thoughts and prayers, social media, gun debates, nobody actually does anything, and back to normal. And, I understand that, all of those kids got killed in that elementary school yesterday, but this is something that should be impacting all of us, because just last week it was a bunch of elderly people in the grocery store, and then it was the Asian Americans at the church literally the next day. Now it's the kids. So this is something that should be impacting all of us. And so I know we're having these conversations about gun control and mental health, and yes, we should be having all of those, and we should have mental health background checks for people that purchase guns, and we should make it harder for people to access guns. But I have one simple question. How do you legislate hate? If I wake up in the morning and I decide I want to take you out just because of what your race is, because of what your gender is, your sexuality is, what you identify as, if I wake up in the morning and decide I just want to take you out because of that, what type of legislation can be created to dictate what is in a person's heart, to change what is in a person's heart?
I don't necessarily think you can.
And that don't make you feel helpless?
I mean, it is. I mean, but these are, a lot of this is these are how a lot of these kids are raised. They're raised to hate people and a particular type of person, and then that hate is spewed to their children, which is spewed to their children and to their children, and it's a cycle that I don't necessarily see it us stopping. So you can't legislate hate.
Yeah, I've heard people say
you can try to, control or protect as much as you can from those people that do all the hate, but you can't legislate hate.
Yeah, our camera guy, Nick, was like, it starts in the home, and I agree. I've heard people say, like, when you see, like, the white supremacists in Buffalo, they was like, his parents, should have to deal with some consequences, because he had to learn that from somewhere, right?
No, that's not necessarily true, though.
That's not, yeah, you're right.
I mean, it could be that he was online.
Online,
and
you're right.
Online. It could be he was in school and fell into the wrong kids and students in school.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily make the parents. The parents could be fine, and he could have went down his own lane in his own, just been one of those kids.
Yeah.
Let's go to
and if we're talking about legislation, what about all of the senators and all the people in positions of power who have a history of being racist or saying racist things? They shouldn't even be in office.
Bro,
that's right.
We talk about all that. But
we need to legislate these legislators.
We had a president that was halfway racist.
What's so crazy?
I mean, so we talk about legislation, but we had a president that was halfway racist.
You're right, but it's funny that we're surprised about racist politicians in 2022 when racist politicians are what built this country. When racist politicians are what built wrote the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Like, this country was built by racists for racists.
Right.
Well, this country clearly has to change. That's especially when it comes to legislation, too.
But guess what?
Like people who are in positions of power, there has to be some type of rules or some type of standards that you have to have. If you're in office and you say or you do something racist, then what happens? You get to continue to be in office.
Yeah.
There's people who were there at the Capitol that day that aided in those things happening, and they're still in office and they're still there.
Yeah,
That's
racist
right.
people put racist senators and presidents in office. So how do you change that? How do you legislate that when the racist people are putting the racist senators and the racist people in Congress and the racist people as president?
You're right. This system was designed by racists for racists. And I truly believe that this country was built on evil, and it's going to fall on evil.
Hello, who's this?
Peace and blessings to y'all. My
Peace,
name
Queen.
is Erica Jones, and I am from St. Louis, Missouri. Please excuse me because I am at the level of festivity, if that is even a word. I am a gun violence survivor. My daughter was murdered standing on the sidewalk, her and her friend, as her son sat in the car and had to duck down from bullets from an AK-47. When it comes to gun violence, I'm so sick of hearing a president, a vice president, the congressmen, I don't care if you're Democrat, liberal, conservative, any of them. It has hit us at rock bottom speed, and all you want to do is give us a freaking speech.
I said the same thing.
A speech.
Mm-hmm.
I work for an organization in St. Louis, Missouri called the BRIC. We have trained over 25,000, including kids, including my grandson, on what to do in case someone is shot as far as their injuries. We are the only organization, grassrooted, in the states that does that. Does that, period. No other organizations, but y'all want to give money to Congress people when they come in office for 40,000 effing furniture voucher, and we got kids out here that are easily able to get to firearms, and you want to give us a damn speech? We study getting kids killed. We just had a young woman and a young man killed on live that was from St. Louis, Missouri. But nobody, it's okay. It's okay. We got 19 babies. And guess what? I understand totally how these parents feel. I'm angry. I'm mad. I wish they come from behind these desks, open up these programs for these kids. Stop acting like it's nothing. This is not no doggone gang, no doggone drug. This is not none of that. These kids are hopeless. They don't have no love. It starts within the household. It's trauma. That's trauma. And y'all, they wondering, it's trauma. It's trauma. Everything is all triggered trauma.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Thank you for sharing your story, too.
I appreciate y'all. Like I said, we are the only grassroots organization in St. Louis, Missouri that's out here teaching these kids how to save somebody's life before an ambulance get there.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you a question, and I know you guys are grassroots. How can people, donate and help so you can continue the mission that you're doing?
You can go up on www.thebrick.org.
Thebrick.org.
And a black doctor from Born Jewish walked away from her personal pronouns. He walked away from his job to start this clinic for the community, and it's free.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
And you said thebrick.org.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am, and we appreciate you, and sorry for your loss again.
I appreciate y'all, and thank y'all for putting this out here, because if we had more platforms where we can call in and do this, I think a lot of more people will understand our pain as survivors, how we feel, along with the community being able to see that it is people like us that have to deal and wake up with this every day. So I appreciate y'all. God bless y'all.
Love you, Queen.
We appreciate you. We are covering you in love.
800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Now, if you just joined us, we're asking, this came from Charlamagne's Donkey of the Day.
Yeah, man, I gave it to America. And the reason I gave it to America is because, we keep asking the question, what are we going to do? And I keep referencing that meme that, says it starts with a mass shooting, then it's media extravaganza, then thoughts and prayers, social media, gun debates. Nobody actually does anything. And then we're back to normal. And, I'm just simply asking, what are we going to do? And I think the reason that question is so difficult for people, and I think the reason so many of us always feel so hopeless in situations like this, is because we know that we truly can't legislate hate.
Right. No,
So yes, we should have conversations about gun control, and we should have conversations about mental health when it comes to things like this. But what about just that hate that somebody has in their heart for another individual?
I mean, that's usually, that usually starts in the household. I can't say that happens in every situation, but I know in a lot of situations it does. But, I always wonder when you look at social media, right? Mm-hmm. They have all these algorithms, right? So if you promote something on social media, they can limit your posts because they want you to pay for ads. Mm-hmm. And I always wondered, when you have people looking up certain things online, why is that not flagged? Like this young man, I'm assuming he had to look up a body armor. It's not like you could go to your local, Lowe's or Home Depot and find body armor, so he had to look it up on his computer.
You would think that whoever monitors this kind of stuff, right, would know, like, okay, who just bought body armor and why?
Correct. Like, he's not military. He's a civilian. Why does he have?
Why does he need body armor?
Certain things like that, or monitor the amount of ammunition that somebody's purchasing and buying. I'm just curious. I could be wrong, and it could be a crock full of ish. But when I look at social media and I look how Instagram has algorithms on certain things, and I understand how we don't have it on.
You should be able to track these things, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. When people buy, figure out how to buy, create a bomb or make a bomb, like these are things that you have to Google.
Yeah.
And they find out later, on his computer we found these materials where he looked it up. But how come we couldn't find it before?
And listen, I agree with everything that you just said, and I want to talk about even the mental health aspect real quick, right? Like, I totally believe, and I know that hurt people, and
right.
I know that people are in pain and they are projecting that pain on others. So, I'm always going to focus on therapy and focus on investing in your mental wealth. But man, something about these last two shootings, the one in Buffalo. A lot of those elderly black people got killed, and watching these kids get shot in Texas, watching those Asians get shot in that church in California. Even though I know these people are dealing with mental and emotional pain, I can't dismiss just pure evil, because it just seems like premeditated, pure evil. These people had body armor. They targeted individuals. You know what I mean? Like, they knew what they were doing. So it's hard to just say, that person's dealing with mental health issues.
Bro, you do understand, in the 12 years we've been working here, I've heard you say that before.
Yeah.
And these shootings are different.
Yo, these are different. Oh, absolutely. These are different.
But we say that all the time, and they all hit different, and we care so much for the first couple of days, and then it just starts to we forget about it, and then we just go on with our regular lives.
Yes. That's why even with this one, everybody's talking about the kids. Yes, it's the kids, but bro, we've had a crazy past couple of weeks. This year has been a bunch of different mass shootings. So it's not just us living in fear for our kids. We're living in fear for each other, everybody.
Hello, who's this?
Yo, this is Robert from Jacksonville.
Talk to us, brother.
I don't really think you can legislate hate, because like y'all was saying, it starts pretty much. You learn that from somewhere. Like, no child, nobody is born racist. Nobody. You learn that and you're taught that. But I think, like, as far as the schools are concerned, like, I think personally that schools should be treated at this point now as like the courthouse. Like, you're not coming in here unless you walk through these metal detectors and get your bag searched. Like, it should be one way in. Like, you have to come in this way. And it's sad that we have to do that. But, like, I think that you should treat schools like an airport or like the courthouse. Like, you have to come through the metal detectors, and it should be for all schools. Like, all public schools, for the most part, you should have to go through a security check to even come in the building. And it should be security at the doors. Like, you can't get in here unless you come past this checkpoint.
That's right.
And I think, like, at least at my kids' school, I feel slightly safe because you have to go through two different barriers to even get, like, in the school. Like, you have to check in at the front door, and once you check in at the front door, you have to sign in and then get buzzed in. It's the whole process to even get in my kids' school. So,
but you know what? When you have a gun, and this is the whole thing, and like you said, you got kids, and I got kids too. So when we drop our kids off in the morning, that door is open as those kids come in, and when those kids leave in the afternoon, that door is open when them kids come out, and there was police there. So it wasn't like there was no police there, and the dude just walked in and the shooting was there. The dude overpowered the police, and he overpowered those locks and all that. None of that stuff mattered at that time. When that man had body armor on, AR-15s, and all those types of bullets, none of that stuff mattered. Think about it. There was 3 police officers there that he got through. So that all that stuff, all that thing, yes, it's a preventative measure. But if somebody wants to get through, they can get through like this 18-year-old kid did.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So what do you do? What do you do?
And that's what we ask.
I don't know, brother. That's the question we asking this morning, man.
But I mean, you can't. At 18, you should not be able to buy any kind of weapon. Like,
that's part of it.
I agree.
That's part of it.
This country is like money is more important. I think, like, if you really think about it, like, they don't mind selling guns to 18-year-olds because it generates more revenue. 18-year-olds buy guns, and like if you take the money part out of it, like you have to legislate it. Like you have to, no 18-year-olds can buy a gun. You have to be past. You have to go to a mental evaluation before you can buy a gun. You have to, when you show up to buy a gun, you should have to have a signed certificate from a psychologist saying this person is mentally capable.
And you know what, brother?
possess a gun.
It's so crazy, man. Like you said, you're 18-year-old. They do a background check. If nothing is on your record, you're good money. That doesn't mean that you don't have any problems. But think about it like this: at 18, even when you drive a car, you at least got to take a test. You at least got to know the rules and regulations. You at least have to take an eye test to see if you can actually see. 18-year-old, you have a gun. There is no test. There is nobody training you how to use the weapon or even talking to you, what it means to have that weapon. You don't have to take an eye test. You just got to be 18 years old and a clean record. And we all know out there that when we were kids, we done things that could have been on our record that maybe we got away with it. Maybe somebody decided not to press charges. Maybe somebody just said, oh, he'll be all right, he'll grow out of it. And those are the things that we can't do anymore. We can't allow these kids, and I can't even say these kids only, because there's some adults out there that don't need weapons as well.
Exactly. That's why I feel like when you go buy a gun, you got to show up with your mental evaluation clearance to say, hey, I think that's a good step. Like when you show up to buy your gun, you have a mental evaluation certificate saying that this person has passed their mental evaluation and they're able to purchase the gun.
Well, thank you, brother, for calling and checking in and giving us your feedback and everything.
The question was this morning: Can how do you legislate hate?
Mm-hmm.
The moral of the story is I don't believe you can. And, yes, we should be talking about gun control. Yes, we should be talking about mental health. All of that is true. But the root of this is the seed of hatred that America planted 400 plus years ago. And now that seed has bared fruit. And the Frankenstein monster that America created is coming back to devour America.